Hey, what's up, everyone? I know it's kind of awkward that I played the thing that you saw me for a second, and then I played the thing, and then I'm back. I'm just waiting for the rest of my what would you call it? The posse, the ensemble. That's the word I was looking for. I'm waiting for the rest of the ensemble. Kate had to go comfort her niece because her niece destroyed her cute little cicada shell that she found outside. That was apparently her best friend ever. So now her niece is crying. So Caitlin went to deal with that. Mason is apparently just like struggling with tech issues, and I'm sure you can imagine, considering he's, you know, blind, that's extra hard. So here we are, just you and me, humble viewer. What a pair we make. I suppose in the meantime, I'm going to check out this thing that Mason would probably have zero interest in. Actually, Mason might actually have some interest in this. I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. Do. Ba 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 da da da. Are you back?
Yes,
Okay.
I have returned. I'm sorry. Oh, had to make her feel better.
That was
Gosh.
hilarious. Just my best friend.
Yep, my best friend ever. Gosh. Yeah. So I had to step out on the porch and find another one. I was like, look, I've brought it back to life. Here you go.
Wait, there's really that many just lying around that you could just step out on your porch and find a cicada shell?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yep.
this place is
Welcome to the South.
place is dummy with cicada shells.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking ridden with them.
Mhm.
That's fucking funny.
Yep. Yeah. It's great.
Come on, Nathan. You can do
Mason, you can do it. Yeah. So, what are we going to do in the meantime, lead adventurer man?
That's a damn good question, Lieutenant Adventurer woman.
Like,
I have been meaning to. I
uh-huh.
have meaning to check out some stuff.
Mm-hmm. And some things.
And yeah, some things sometimes are things that I'm, considering B42 checking out of.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, it's an hour.
Ah!
What the fuck?
Just my shocked gasp, but like over exaggerated. Oh, be like, oh no. Oh no. Like, dude, I thought it was supposed to be 5-ish minutes. It's like, so it's gonna be in the ballpark of at least 5 minutes.
There's a new thing from Luton that we're gonna have to check out. Luton
Mm.
09, Warhammer 40K, the Emperor of Mankind is a false god. Amen, brother.
Hey. It's like, oh boy.
It's like, whoo boy. You are risking the rage of a whole gaggle of neck birds.
Neck birds.
Neck birds.
Yep. Well, your brain was like, you said gaggle. So
What does gaggle have to do with?
a gaggle of geese.
Is that? Yeah, I guess.
So your brain was like, bird. Yeah. A whole gaggle of neck birds.
Okay, Caitlin.
Uh-huh.
I need you to put the thing on the screen.
Okay. All right.
This is from a meme channel called Barry Waltz, and he makes a lot of 40K memes. And
Okay.
we're just gonna look at some of them while Mason takes his sweet ass time to get here.
Yes. Mason.
Is he finally here?
No.
No, you said it like he showed up. I was like,
Calling out into the ether.
you speak of the blind devil, and he shall appear.
Right. Exactly. Like.
Okay. This is Barry Waltz, Imperial Guardsman when Angron charges.
Mm.
We can hold him off.
Wow.
No, you can't. Alpha Legion when Alfarius was killed by Rogel Dorn.
Ah.
You blew it. You're not good at you're not good at reading people. You have no one to blame but yourself.
Oh my god.
You have no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's great.
How Zeech ends every conversation. Oh boy.
All right, I'm going to go now. And of course, by now, I mean I will leave 80 milliseconds before you become aware that I've left.
Oh, ooh! Yay!
Is he finally here?
He's finally here.
Well, look who decided to show up.
Oh, don't. Really, really don't, because that was those technical difficulties were stressful.
Oh.
I'm like this far away from blowing up anyway, so really don't.
Oh.
Ooh, I'm so scared of the blind man who's fucking half a world away. What's up, man? How's your day going other than the tech difficulties?
Yeah, it's all right, mate. How are you?
Oh, I'm just sitting here, body making all kinds of creaky noises when I move it certain ways. Butthole, just fighting everything that's pushing against it, like so many orcs against the walls of Helm's Deep. Wondering where my life is headed and if I'll ever amount to anything worth mentioning in the history books. What about you, Caitlin?
Well, I just had to make a 4-year-old believe that I was capable of necromancy.
That sounds like it'd be fairly easy. 4-year-olds believe in Santa. It's not that hard.
That's
Yeah.
fucked up, Ethan. You just called her niece stupid.
Oh man.
No,
Well, look
all
here,
4-year-olds stupid.
believing in Santa is not stupid.
I suppose when you're a child, right? And you don't know that it's impossible to do the things that Santa is reported to do.
Yeah.
It would be possible that you're not an idiot for believing that. I'll concede.
Yes, yeah, because the other option is what happens the night of December the 5th.
Is that when Krampus shows up?
Yes.
That's grim.
I just can't imagine trying to work out the logic of how it would all work now that I have an adult brain. Like when you're a kid, it's just like, oh yeah, okay, that's just how it works. But now that I'm an adult and I have a boring logical brain, I'm like, logistically, how would that really work?
Well, see, it depends on the lens that you look at things through, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
You
what
gotta believe in magic to start with, which, you know,
Yes.
I'm vaguely willing to do, because if you look
Mhm.
at someone like Darren Brown, I'm like, yeah, you're just pretending that all of your stuff is sleight of hand, and you're really a magician. So I guess it only takes like a few extra steps for me to actually believe in magic.
Yeah, because I think that that's possible.
More than anything, the thing I find the least believable about the whole Santa thing is that anyone would be that generous.
Right?
Yeah. But I mean, considering he was born into that occupation.
What if what if it's actually like, what if delivering all the presents actually gives Santa a hit? Like the act of giving is actually a narcotic to Santa, and that's why he does it all, because each time he delivers a present, it's just like taking a big old hit.
Well, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
oh my God, over 7 billion rails of cocaine.
Right.
That sounds so magical.
You're on the right track, though, because, you know, him doing that increases belief. So, like, more belief in him causes him to, like, get a bigger high because he's got more energy. So he's vibrating on, like, a higher level, oracally speaking. So, yeah.
Caitlin's talking supernatural mythos and principle again, just in case that's not clear to everyone. She's
Yeah,
the resident.
I'm a nerd.
So I just want everyone to be perfectly clear. She's speaking in mythological principle terms here.
Well, yeah, because we're talking about Santa.
But some people might, Caitlin, you talk like these things are real. You never give context.
Well, yeah, because I mean, okay, people wonder why, like, when they read my fiction, it comes across like it's, you know, really compelling and stuff, is because if you don't put conviction behind it.
Yeah, but Caitlin, what you
No,
commit to
so
paper and what you're
if it
talking about
sounds
in
like it's
person
true.
are two different meanings, woman.
Yeah, because if you're like reading Lord of the Rings and having all those magical, beautiful descriptions of the landscape, that's all good. If you were like, hey, Tolkien, how was your day? And he did that in real life.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to go round to Tolkien's house for tea. I ask him how his day is, and like 3 hours later, he's just about finished telling me what his front garden looked like.
Well, no, I mean, if he was, well, listening to his voice though, I could get by with that though.
I was unaware.
You're waiting in the queue at the post office. The guy in front, you know, the guy at the till's like, "Ah, Mr. Tolkien, how's your day?" And you're like, "No, don't ask him that. I need to deliver my package."
Jerry, what have you done?
The guy at the back of the queue, like, fuck it, turns around, walks out. I'll find another post office.
Oh my God!
But I know the one across town is fucking 10 miles away, and that's fucking half an hour in city traffic. But you know what? I'll get there, conclude my business, and get home before Tolkien is done summarizing why he decided to plant a row of daisies in the front row of his fucking flower bed.
Oh, he's like, I will give you a backstory for every petal.
And describing the thoughts of the hedgehog that he saw sitting on the lawn this morning.
Yep.
Contemplating if the bees were going to be there in time because the season was getting kind of late. Wanted to make sure they got a pollination in before the fucking winter hit.
I everyone around town, it's just like this unspoken thing. It's like, do not ask him how his day is going. I swear to God, I know you're polite, John. I know you are. But if he gets here and you ask him how his day's going, I swear when he leaves 3 days later, I'm going to hit you with a fire poker.
And it's gonna be fresh out of the coals. Oh God. That reminds me of that fucking scene in Mr. Deeds when Adam Sandler was showing the person his fucking foot that got frostbite, so it had no feeling and it's just totally black. And they were like, "Go ahead and hit it with the fire poker," and the person's just whacking away at his foot, and then they stab his foot with a fire poker, and he's like, "Ah, ah!" and they're both freaking out. Then Adam Sandler's like, "I'm just fucking with you, man."
He's like, I can't feel that.
I would punch him in the face if he did that.
What's stupid about that now that I'm older and think about it? It's like, okay, even if you didn't feel any of that, your foot's still now broken.
Right.
Yeah. And surely the inside of the foot still has feelings. Like, surely frostbite only kills like the nerve endings on the outside. I mean, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know, but
yeah.
On the off chance that your limb comes back from having that level of frostbite, it would only be the skin, pretty much. If something like went through your foot, you'd still feel it. You'd still feel it.
And with all that bullshit, my stress of trying to log on to that goddamn laptop has fallen away. I'm okay now. I don't know what was up with it. It was just like, I don't want to boot up. I know usually I do it within a couple of seconds, but you need to do something. And just this once, you forgot to boot me up an hour beforehand. Fuck you. Fuck you.
It was
if I didn't need you, I would smash you. So, do you remember a little while back? It was quite a few weeks ago. So if you don't remember, that's fine. But I mentioned that I saw a video that was describing the most terrifying thought experiment.
I actually, it's funny you bring that up because I fucking went to your playlist and I saw that had been added and I have it queued up.
I knew that one would interest you. I have watched it, and the ramifications are pretty terrifying.
All right, well, I love it. I love a challenge. Caitlin, add it to the stream.
All righty, here we go.
Getting it queued up.
This is from Kyle Hill.
Well, I don't know who he is, so if I've added someone that you hate, that's not my fault.
No, I don't hate Kyle. I think he's moderately entertaining, and he's knowledgeable, and he's definitely, as far as like a quality of YouTuber, he's a good YouTuber. He every now and then he says something that offhandedly illustrates his political leanings, and he's just like the most insufferably liberal snob type person behind his like wacky fun YouTube personality. When you see a crack in the veneer and you see like, you know, the things he believes in his personal life because of offhanded comments he makes, it's like, oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, I don't look for that sort of thing. That someone who's vaguely apolitical, it's just like that sort of thing, just like over my head, and I just move on, wait for the next thing to be said.
Yeah, I can't get over it when I see stuff like that. You know me. But hopefully he doesn't do any of that in this video. So
there's like an endless list of people that you don't like, Zach. I can't avoid them forever, especially not when you don't provide me with the list.
If I try to provide you with the list, listen, there isn't a word processing software that's capable of holding that much data in a single file.
Well,
okay,
couldn't you just send me a list of people that you do like?
that list is like about as much shorter.
Significantly shorter.
All right. Roko's Basilisk from Kyle Hill. Let's check this out.
What I'm about to tell you is considered by some very serious thinkers to be an information hazard. Information that just by knowing it is potentially harmful to yourself and to others. Make no mistake.
Massive oversell.
Massive oversell?
Yeah, like, the information contained within is, like, fairly, like, yeah, if you think it through to its end conclusion, yeah, it's pretty, like, okay, that's kind of... I mean, scary oversells it, but I don't know, you'll see. The way he's doing it at the minute, it's like, when like a TV show deals with like depression or suicide, and they're like, the following content contains subjects to do with mental health. If you're struggling, please call these numbers or whatever. That's like what he's doing now, and I'm like, yeah, that's a massive oversell of how bad this is.
Well, now you've undercut any tension or suspense you personally built up before I played the video.
Well, like I say, I think that the ramifications of it are pretty terrifying. I think that he builds up the expectations too high, though.
Okay, so it's somewhere in the middle. Okay, all right, fine.
Ethical decision just telling you about this idea. I feel okay doing so because I don't take the risk seriously. However, the disclaimer is there. If you wish to continue, keep watching because something wants to see you.
Now entering the facility.
We begin with something of an internet legend. You see, a few years ago, on the rationality and philosophy blog Less Wrong, a user named Rocco, or Rocco, I'm going to call it Rocco because that's just sounding cooler to me, posted a thought experiment. Upon dissemination of this thought experiment to the rest of the website, the founder of the website, Eliezer Yudkowsky, called the post stupid. He then called Rocco an idiot, deleted the post, scrubbed it from the website, and prevented any further conversation about this thought experiment. Rocco had come up with...
Well, that sounds like a fucking... that sounds like a gross overreaction.
Yeah, and also like a great way to go and get people to go and look at whatever you don't want them to look at. That's like, it's like when a parent's like, no, you can't go on this website. Well, fuck you. I'm going to download a VPN and find a way to go on this website.
Right.
The best way to get someone to do something is tell them they can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, especially if that person's me.
You are not allowed to give me $1,000, Zach. You're not allowed, okay?
If I was the kind of man who had the kind of money that I could just do that, not only would I do it to prove a point, I would actually spend some time finding out where you live, and I would mail it in cash to prove a point.
My letterbox isn't big enough for £1,000 in cash.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it is. It's okay. If it's in $100 bills, it doesn't take up any more room than a fucking envelope containing your fucking rent statement, bro.
Yeah, that's a fair point. See, you're talking to someone that's just never had money, because like you say a grand, and it's like that sounds like so much to me, and then when I actually think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's in terms of actual cash, that wouldn't be that much. Like physical change.
Yeah, I've held $1,000 in my hands multiple times because of some of the more illicit circles that I used to run in. And when you actually hold it, unless it's in like small bills, it's not that much.
Yeah.
Basilisk, named after the mythical beast who could apparently kill some intrepid hero with its gaze alone. And Yudkowsky deleted the post because of its potential to gaze at a user on the website, metaphorically speaking, and do harm to them. He decided to slay, not a scaly beast, but an idea. And some users of the Less Wrong website did report great mental distress and even nightmares after considering this thought experiment. Again, I'm deciding to tell you about it because I do not take it seriously, and I don't think you will either. But
good for you.
Do not handle
Did you say good for you?
Yeah.
Existential dread to the nth degree very well. I suggest you take the hyperrail back out of the facility. The thought experiment that is Rocco's Basilisk starts like this. Suppose that in the future we are able to create a hyper-intelligent AI, something straight out of the singularity. We then ask that AI, as we might, to help us optimize all aspects of human civilization. But then, for reasons unknowable to beings like us compared to its intelligence, it decides that the first step towards optimization starts with inflicting eternal torment on every single human being that didn't want it to come to fruition or didn't help it come into existence in the first place. After all, how can you optimize without the optimizer? How would the Basilisk know that you did or didn't help it come to pass? Well, as we learned in a previous episode of this program, a sufficiently advanced artificial intelligence could literally simulate all of human history, every single human ever, faster than that. So this Basilisk might be able to meaningfully recreate you, every single thought you ever had or will have, and then be confident in its prediction of what you did or didn't do in the past to judge you in the future.
Kyle, shut up. You're giving me away.
Its head. If its creation and its revenge are a real possibility in the future, shouldn't you, all of you, right now, start advocating for its creation or help build it yourself to escape eternal torment and anguish? Well, the good news is that if you've never had this thought, the dilemma never presents itself to you and you can escape it. The bad news is that because of me, now, you can't escape it.
You bastard!
Seen you.
It's like, oh,
What
no.
have you done?
The Basilisk has seen you.
It's like you do realize, though, all I have to do is just think about weasels and roosters, and it's not a big deal.
Ha 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 ha, Caitlin. Ha 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 ha.
Well, you know, because that's two of the creatures that
Oh,
yeah.
Right. That was so obscure that I was sitting here like, the fuck is she talking? I'm Kate, and I'm so much smarter than you at all times.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a second too. I was like, oh. You can always count on Kate to make the ultra sophisticated joke.
well, us men sit here like, the fuck is she?
While I'm sit here like,
I smell funny.
Hazards, as defined by philosopher Nick Bostrom, the guy who came up with simulation theory, broadly fall into two main categories. The first is information that's potentially hazardous to others. The second is information that's potentially hazardous to yourself just by knowing it. The first category is pretty easy to think of. If someone were to give someone else the information on how to build a nuclear bomb in their basement, that would probably be catastrophic for a large number of other people. The second category is a little harder to think of, but I'm sure you've had experience with it. Take a health risk. If you had your DNA sequenced by some service, for example, maybe it told you that you had an elevated risk of cancer and you didn't really want to know that, and now you're stressing out about it. Or more theoretically, think of some omnipotent being coming to you in the middle of the night and telling you the exact day and way that you are going to die. I'm guessing having that information would change your entire life and be very stressful. Or think about some guy on.
Honestly, knowing the exact method and all that stuff of my death would actually bring me supreme comfort.
Yeah, it's like, but see, the thing is, though, that would never happen because the thing about the future is it's not set in stone, and once you know it, you can change it.
I mean, that's kind of contradictory, though, to the Christian belief in an omnipotent God, Caitlin.
No, because see, that's,
well, yeah, God has a plan, right?
Like your days are numbered, but because you have the codicil of free will, that's the reason why you're not told, hey, this is how and when you're going to die.
Caitlin, I think you're missing what I'm saying.
Okay.
While it's true that we have free will and that we can change things in our immediate in our immediate span of time, like I can choose right now to move this mug over here, and that's a choice of free will, and I didn't have to do it. I did it as an illustration of my point here. There are, like, if you believe in an omniscient, omnipotent God, then what's going to happen is still what's going to happen. He already knows. So even though we have the choice of free will, what is going to happen is just what's going to happen. And that's true by definition. So the way you're going to die is technically set in stone.
Or at least you have the illusion of free will, because if he knows that you're going to move the mug when you move the mug, it's not really your choice.
No, that's not true. That's not true either, because someone knowing I'm going to do something doesn't mean that I don't have the choice to make it. That person has accurately predicted or has some other way of knowing that I'm going to do something, and therefore they have knowledge of my action. That doesn't mean that I don't have the choice of making the action. Those two things are independent clauses from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference, though, isn't there, between somebody predicting it and an omnipotent being knowing every single action that you'll ever take. It's not a prediction, then. That's absolute concrete knowledge that you will move the mug and you don't. There will be no other choice there.
Yeah, but you still have free will because they didn't tell you to do it.
Yeah, they didn't tell me to do it. They didn't make me do it. You know, absolute knowledge that I will do something is not the same as forcing me to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I disagree, but you're getting into the whole debate of determinism there anyway.
If only Pei was here for this one.
Well, I personally, I've always subscribed to first order and second order free will, which it's just basically as long as they're in line, you are free. So first order free will is you want to move a biscuit. Second order free will is you want to move the biscuit. And if you want to do the thing you are doing, then you are free.
Yeah. I think that's a reasonable definition. For sure.
But just because somebody knows beforehand that you want to do those things and therefore you do those doesn't mean that they told you to do those things, which...
No, I agree, but that's also because I don't believe in God, so...
These filthy heretics, Caitlin.
The internet with a man bun putting you in the sights of a malevolent AI who's going to torture you forever just by thinking about it once. That sounds like it could be stressful too, I guess.
Not really.
Roko's basilisk is even more sinister than it seems at first glance, and we can demonstrate that with another thought experiment. Follow me here, called Newcomb's paradox. So say I come to you with two boxes labeled A and B. Box A is transparent, and inside you can see $1,000. 10 Benji boys, a stack, as the kids say. What's in box B,
or a rack, as the cooler kids say,
is not apparent to you because box B is not transparent, it is opaque. And I tell you what's inside depends on you. You see, I'm an amazing predictor, and I have the ability to tell the future. And if I predicted you will choose box B, there's $1 million in box B for you. Oh, 10,000 Benji boys, mucho scalote, I think the kids say. But if I predicted you choose box
so lame.
B,
it's just like there's so many dad vibes there.
He's like, look at me, I'm being cringe on purpose.
Yeah.
There's just so many like lame dad vibes that just radiating off him in that moment.
Yeah. And that's part of that, like that whole shtick he puts on is actually part of the reason I kind of have a bad taste in my mouth, because I've seen through the veneer, so I know it's like 99% an act.
It's just an attempt to endear himself to the audience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
that one sick stack of paper or cheddar or whatever they're calling it these days. Now, you can only choose box A.
Oh, I'm old and I don't know what kids say. Aren't I funny?
What do you do? What should you do? Well, I don't expect an answer in the form of an essay from you, because game theorists And philosophers have been debating this paradox for years, but what you choose ultimately...
Go write him an essay, Zach.
What?
I said go write him an essay. He's like, whilst I don't expect the answer in the form of an essay, oh, well, you're gonna fucking get one, Kyle. Expect my thesis at the end of the month, bitch.
Right. Like all 900 pages.
I'm gonna max out the YouTube comment section. I'm gonna make the comments so long that it won't be allowed, that you couldn't possibly read it by the end of your life, Kyle. I'm gonna write an essay so long that you will be reading it from now until the moment that you die, and you still won't have time. You will die with that as an unfinished task.
You will come back to this corporeal plane as an ethereal specter, just so you can finish reading the comment that I left for you, thoroughly explaining why you're a
This thesis will be so all-consuming that you will ignore everybody in your life. Your wife will leave you. Your children won't love you anymore. And when you get to the pearly gates and they ask you, do you have any regrets? The only thing you'll be able to say is, I didn't finish the thesis.
It haunts me to this moment. Oh, God.
Think I am, right? Well, enter the basilisk. Say that the basilisk presents you with a similar choice. It wants you to take box A and box B, though, together, because that, metaphorically speaking, is choosing to help it come into existence. It then tells you that if you only take box B, the other option, you will experience eternal torment. Like, I don't know. It will
insert wires into your brain and pump in electrical signals that equate to living 1 billion lifetimes with every nerve in your body screaming in the absolute zenith of possible pain.
I don't know, something like that. Now, if you
Whoa, how did he get you to do a cameo?
He paid me in currency of which I'm not going to mention the type of, but it was a very compelling argument.
You sell out.
predictor, which it could be, you would most likely take both boxes. You would do what it wants. Because Roko's basilisk knew that you would take both box A and box B when threatened, box B never had to actually contain any torment at all. You've now experienced future blackmail. If you think there's any real possibility that Roko's basilisk could slither its way into your possible future, then logically, if you don't want to incur its wrath, you should start bringing it into existence right now. And notice that you're now being controlled by a future entity that doesn't exist yet simply because you had a single thought about it.
Hey, yo, Basilisk, fuck you!
Yeah, or I could just continue living my life and not be future blackmailed.
Exactly.
It's like, but really? This just seems like it's an allegory for people who blow things out of proportion and create destructive self-fulfilling prophecies.
Yeah.
You will have acted in
an allegorical thought experiment. Yeah. Now that has layers to it.
I detest allegory in all of its thought forms.
But you like Lord of the Rings, so...
Right.
I was literally quoting Tolkien though. Because Tolkien, it literally says that he despises allegory. Which
I know, but
yeah, but the thing is, we're about to get seriously off topic here. The whole thing with Middle Earth is that it's designed to be applicable. He has no problem with you drawing allegories from it. He just didn't want to be the one that was pushing it on us. He is okay with you getting a message from Lord of the Rings. The thing that he hates is authors explicitly being like, here, this is what my story is saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because he believes that the story itself should be free to tell you on its own. Because
I was just saying, because when people, I hear it all the time where people are like, well, Tolkien says he hates allegory, but Lord of the Rings has lots of allegories. And it's like, yes, but you're missing the point. They are there. He didn't design them to be there. He wrote a story and he was like, here, you take whatever message you want. I don't want to be the one to say, oh, by the way, this is about fighting the encroaching fascism, or, you know, whatever other message that you want to.
Hey, by the way, Gandalf is kind of like Wizard Jesus.
Right.
I mean, he even gave Lewis shit about Narnia because he was like, hey, this is a bit on the nose.
Yeah. And it's like, but it's kind of funny though, because it was a monster that he created. So, yeah. It's like, yeah. Because without Tolkien, we wouldn't have had Mere Christianity or the Screwtape Letters.
Let's continue.
It's past.
What?
I just said let's continue.
The way it will have wanted you to in its future. Yeah.
Let that break your brain for a second.
What are you doing?
I'm playing with a voice synthesizer. Why?
It's almost ready.
Right. Hope I know what I'm doing.
Oh boy.
It's hard to imagine that anyone would really think a basilisk could exist, a real creature that could kill you with a single gaze. That is, unless you're a believer in the ancient theory of extramission. This idea, developed by very smart people like Plato and Ptolemy, said that our eyes don't see stuff by interpreting electrical signals from photons hitting the backs of our eyes. No. We see stuff by sending out eye beams that go and touch stuff and then tell us what they touched.
Yes?
I need to talk to you. Obviously.
Sorry, guys. 1 second.
Obviously.
Oh boy. Yep.
So, while we're on our own, what did you think of the intro that I sent you the other day?
I loved that.
I was grinning like an idiot to myself while writing that.
Yeah. Oh, you should have been, because that was brilliant. I was like, I love this so much. I don't want to give too much away, though.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, for all one of you, whoever you are, person that's watching.
Why are you looking?
Yeah.
Introduce yourself, stranger.
Right. Exactly. Come out here and tell us who you are. Like, gosh.
Tell us who you are. Tell us who you are.
It's like, sure. It's like, did your mom not ever talk to you about, not lurking in doorways?
Didn't your mom ever teach you that it's rude to lurk in online message boards? You know what's really scary though is that we are old enough that could actually be a thing now, like that a parent would have taught a child.
Yes. Yes.
Right now, when you go into an instant messaging app, you need to introduce yourself because lurking is rude.
Oh man, it's like why? Oh.
Yeah, I know, right? Because when you go into a cafe, you don't go in and go, "Hi everyone, my name's Mason," before you go and sit down. No, you just walk in, make your order, you sit down, and you do your best not to interact with anyone.
Right. Which
you sit as far away from them as possible. You avoid eye contact, and you get out there as fast as possible. Or is that just me?
It would be funny though if you did go in there and were like, "Hi everyone, my name is Mason," and then
Hi everyone, my name's Mason. I'm going to go and place an order now. Then I'm going to sit in that chair over there. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
And let me just preface the most obvious one first. Yes, I am blind. And I am retarded.
There was a girl the other day while we were out, and I felt kind of sorry for her, to be honest, because she was like, we were paying for our stuff, and she was like, "Mom, why does that man need a walking stick?" And like, Mum is clearly just like fed up of this kid's shit that she's been putting up with all day, and she's like, "I'm just packing my shopping. I'm going to ignore her." So like, but at the same time, when it comes to stuff like that, I don't want to just like, I don't want them to ask the question and then not find out. So I was like, "Oh, it's because I can't see." But then when I said it, it just sort of came out like I was like being passive aggressive and trying to tell her off for like asking a question. I was like, "Oh, for God's sake, this is why I don't interact with people."
Oh, you know, it's because I can't fucking see.
You little brat. And then I like smashed her head into the till.
Just picked her up and started shaking her like a rag doll.
Dug my fingers into her eyes. I can't see it now, neither can you. Now you need a walking stick too. And also, it's not a walking stick, it's a cane. Get the terms right, child. Lead-headed fool.
I feel like we just met Valdis's like half brother.
To be fair, that's because the lead-headed fool thing is something that I am gonna 100% make him say at some point, because it's you lead-headed fool.
That is definitely Valdis. You lead-headed fool. Didn't you see? Could you not understand before this moment? It was always going to end like this. I was always going to defeat you.
I was always going to groom you.
Now lay there and take it.
Whoa, okay. It was bad enough, Zach. It was bad enough on its own. That was a double team slam dunk that I didn't want to be part of. I was trying to throw the ball off the court, and you grabbed it and just like put it in the net. And oh my God, I need a wash now.
Mason's like, I involuntarily climbed this Eiffel Tower.
he's like, I didn't know what I was doing.
I walked up to the edge of the cliff and I was just enjoying the view, and then you were like, and pushed me off it.
You were like, it would be really fun.
Hey. I gave you a wingsuit. It's just your job to get it on and opened before you hit the rocks.
Now lie there and take your hairbrush. You got plugs.
Oh my God.
We need to get rid of
They didn't sound like that, but like.
But what'd you say?
We need to get rid of your nits / head lice, I believe they call them in America.
Yes.
Yes.
Like actual eye beams. It's this idea that led to Sir Thomas Browne in the 1600s musing on how a basilisk might actually work. He said, "It is possible that the visible rays communicate the subtlest of their poison and to a beast a man and infecteth their brain, and then is communicated to the heart." He didn't sound like that either. Is the idea correct? No. Is it fun to talk about mythical beasts in weird accents? Yeah. I apologize if you're kind of freaking out right now, but the basilisk
100% no.
works.
Okay.
Same. Here's the thing about the basilisk thought experiment. All you have to do to be rid of the to the existential dread of the basilisk, it's not even not thinking about it. It's saying, okay, yeah, if an AI comes to exist, I'm going to welcome it with open arms as being a tool and friend to mankind. And
yeah, but that goes against the presupposition, though, because the whole thing is it will punish anyone who didn't want it to exist or didn't help it to exist. So it doesn't matter whether you welcomed it. If you didn't actively take part in helping to bring it into the world, you're still culpable.
But here's the thing. The AI is smart enough to know that anyone that has a positive attitude towards its potential existence is helping it come into creation by reducing stigma.
Mm-hmm.
Fair point.
Not only does thinking about it implicate you in its future wrath, thinking about it makes it more likely to exist in the future in the first place. You see, the more people that think about this thought experiment, the more people might choose to start bringing it into existence, and now it's more likely to exist in the future, even if it was never going to
Terminator.
exist. Thinking about it right now, as we're doing, increases the chances that it will. This is why this is often deemed the most terrifying thought experiment, a kind of idea virus. And if you take this idea seriously, you can see why Yudkowsky and Les Wrong handled this info hazard in the way that they did. I do not take it seriously. I do not think we will ever reach this kind of singularity, much less create AI with these kind of capabilities.
You don't think that we'll ever reach that kind of singularity? Like, fair enough, being like, no, we'll never reach a singularity in my lifetime. I'm sorry. Have you seen how much technology has progressed since we started creating it? If you don't think that there'll be a singularity at some point in our future, then you're as ignorant as the people that say there are no aliens.
You're as ignorant as the people that insist that the flu vaccine is sterilizing people and that the Earth is flat. Like it's even more egregious than not believing they're aliens. That's like saying we never went to the moon. That's like saying that we're at the center of the universe. It's so egregiously stupid, my friend. It's like, bro, when you look at the technological curve of humanity, we were hunter-gatherers. Our technological curve looked like this, and every now and then there was a micro on the scale of where we are now, just the tiniest, ever so slightest fucking tick up when we figured out a better method for tanning hide or made a slight advancement in herbology. And then something really fucking crazy happened. We figured out farming, and the curve started gradually ticking up from there. Very, very respectable improvement on technology. And then we figured out computing, and the curve went straight up. Literally
we got all competitive and decided we wanted to race to the moon, and now me and you are talking to each other from across the Atlantic Ocean.
Exactly. And the rate at which technology improves is increasing exponentially. The singularity is not only a guarantee, it's actually well within the possibility it will happen within our lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even up for debate if you look at the fucking math of it, just statistically speaking. And so, yeah, the take that it's not going to come to pass is just smooth brain at best.
like I say, I think you're right there. But I can see the thing of being like, okay, I don't think it'll be happening in my lifetime. But in how much longer are humans going to be around? And you don't think that there'll be some sort of huge technological advancement that will lead to sentient AI? You're just being an idiot.
Yeah, if humans make it another 100 years, there will be a sentient AI. Period. Especially when you start looking at the possibilities opened up by quantum computing. A functional quantum computer, it would have the ability to make processing so fast that it would actually be hard for the average person who wasn't a genius with a major in math to understand just how fast this computer is processing information. And in a system like that, it would almost be artificially intelligent, not even by not by definition, but by the sheer virtue of what it was capable of. It would almost be artificially intelligent. And then, of course, there's the fact that we would obviously put an operating system in it, and it would probably be used to run complex calculations. Goddamn. We're going to stack fucking software inside of it and see what it can do and see what software code we can get to intermingle and see how well we can get it to adapt to changing variables. And eventually, an AI is just going to exist. It's just what's going to happen.
And even then, it still won't give advice as good as me.
Right.
Careful, Mason Dark. You might break your arm jerking yourself off that hard.
Yeah, I really need to add some self-awareness into that guy. He runs the risk of becoming like unbearable to the audience.
Just like every now and then he has a moment of clarity, but it's like for something that's like completely benign and doesn't actually like make a difference.
Yeah.
Protocol that's similar to this one. And if we all just agree right now that we're not going to bring it into existence, then nothing will happen. Besides, I've already built one of my own.
Because humanity is capable of agreeing on anything, Kyle.
Sorry, what?
I said, yeah, because humanity is capable of agreeing on anything, Kyle.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Like,
until next time.
Now exiting the facility.
Thank you so much to the very nerdy staff at the...
Like, if there was some sort of existential threat that required us to all agree on something, we would be fucking dead.
Yeah.
Yep. Even if you only had to get 80% of the human population, we'd still be dead. We
can't even agree on whether that dress is white or blue.
Right. Well, and to be fair, that's partially because of blind mother. No, well, not blind. Colorblind.
Were you about to use a slur there?
I'm visually impaired, okay? Fuck you. It's like 1% and you're 100%, but I'm on the spectrum, damn it.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, dude. I'm not one of them, but blind elitism exists.
Yes.
It 100%. Oh my god, you've infected me with your brain stumbling. It 100% exists within the blind community, and it's one of the reasons why I'm not as active in the community as I could be, because of how much I see like people that are like, oh yeah, well, we have it so much worse than you because we're totally blind and blah blah blah, and just like, and oh god, and don't even get me started on the people that are like, you can do whatever you want, and if your life isn't successful, that's just because you aren't trying, and there are no hurdles to being blind. And it's like, dude, fuck you.
Right. That's more harmful than it is positive. Toxic positivity is definitely a thing. And if you can't look at a situation and be objective about it and what its ramifications are, you're now being toxically positive.
Well, and ableist. It's like, just because you are disabled doesn't mean that you can't be ableist. It's like this fallacy that people seem to think that, like, just because you are a member of a community, you can't say things that are like harmful to that community.
Right.
Yeah,
it's the same thing with people that claim that ethnic minorities from white people can't be racist. It's like that. First of all, that's literally contrary to the actual definition that I have right here in this dictionary that existed before people started editing the internet because they're fascists. And second of all, shut the fuck up.
Right. And, like, there was a girl who she was like some part of some like documentary or something, and she was talking about how her deaf parents were upset about the fact that she wasn't deaf and treated her sibling who was better than her, because the whole reason why, they even married each other was the fact that if either of them had been hearing, it would have been a deal breaker, because they were hoping that all of their children wouldn't be able to hear either.
That is fucked up.
Yeah, that's pretty
But apparently
Yeah.
there's an entire part of the deaf community that is like that.
I mean, that sort of thing, it's just like it's just an extreme reaction to that feeling that a lot of disabled people have, that, you know, able-bodied people want to get rid of us, which, you know, is a fair observation, because there's plenty of, you know, medical science. I've got to be like sort of careful about how I phrase this, but like, you know, there's plenty of medical science that's focused on trying to eliminate certain, you know, genetic anomalies. And whilst you can argue that that's a good thing, because you're ensuring, you know, just from my own point of view, you're ensuring that no one ever has to go through the stuff that I went through before. But at the same time, by arguing for it, you are, you know, theoretically arguing that if they'd have already perfected that before I was born, I wouldn't exist, or at
Right.
least this version of me wouldn't exist. And I quite like existing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, this is an interesting little philosophical quagmire to get into. The paradox that it presents with, okay, so if this technology existed, like say, and you could turn that towards someone like me and say, okay, what if we were able to edit his genes so that he didn't have eczema? My eczema was a huge part of my childhood experience because, you know, kids are horrible, and the trauma that I have and the struggles I had interacting with my peers as a child because they looked at me like I was a leper. That is one of the major things that shaped me in my early childhood and how I interacted with the world. So it's almost certain that if I hadn't had eczema, I would not be the version of myself that I am today. And to what extent does that erase my identity? To what extent can you say that if I wasn't this version of me, I would be dead? There's you have to have a conversation about what makes us who we are, and that is such a deep hole. We don't have time to get into it on a Saturday morning stream.
Well, and it also begs the question that once you start going down that road of like, okay, let's get rid of this thing and let's edit genes so it gets rid of this thing, at what point do you stop with that? Because that can, you know, in the wrong hands, that can be very, very problematic.
Yes.
Yeah. All it takes is one asshole who thinks dark skin is a problem, or blue eyes are a genetic mutation that shouldn't exist, or red hair, or eyes that are a little bit further apart than normal. Like any asshole with the ability to do that and a chip on his shoulder towards any trait could be a huge ethical problem. 100%. That's one of those issues where it's like, fuck, the piece of technology would be fascinating, but humans are pieces of shit and they really don't deserve to have access to it.
Yeah, like on the surface, it seems like a good thing, like making sure that nobody's ever born with sight loss again. Okay, that seems like a good thing on the surface, but when you actually take it to like its, you know, Black Mirror conclusion,
which we'll have
like,
somewhere at some point.
Yeah, you can be like, okay, well, that's not a good thing, so maybe it shouldn't exist in the first place.
Right. It's like, how would this go awry? Because if humans are involved, ultimately it will.
But then you have to have a whole conversation about the fact that you can apply that thinking to anything. You could apply that thinking to shovels. Okay, we invented shovels to help us move and shape Earth, but a lot of people have used shovels to beat people to death. So should we not have invented shovels? No. But now you can take it someplace that's even more extreme, like firearms. Okay, firearms help us tame the world around us. They help us deal with animals. They help us protect ourselves from dangerous humans, but they're also used for grotesque acts of violence. So should we have firearms?
But the thing is, though, those things were invented because we as humans innately understand that humanity, on its flip side, are all pieces of shit.
Well, but you're not
doing something that's going to manipulate the creation of a person is different in context because you're, messing with like DNA and the formulation of another human being. You're not dealing with stuff like, well, say a shovel. Okay. That's used as a tool for like moving earth and stuff, but humans being an unpredictable variable and sometimes pieces of shit will use them to beat other people with them. That doesn't negate the fact that it's a tool and serves a whole other purpose just because the off chance somebody might lose their head and use it to kill somebody.
But you're not. Go ahead, Mason.
No, you go. You go.
Well, I was just gonna say, but that doesn't negate my point, Caitlin. That doesn't even address my point. Actually, my point is that can you make a judgment on the ethical and moral ramifications of a piece of technology before it exists? Or can you assign moral or ethical ramifications to a piece of technology at all? Because after all, the piece of technology is moralless. It is only moral in the sense of what people use it to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look at it from that argument, there really is no argument against creating any piece of technology. There can only be an argument about who has access to it and how it's used.
Mm-hmm. But then you also stray into the same sort of area, because then you're deciding, well, who can have access to this piece of technology so that we can stop people so that we can stop certain people from stopping certain people exist.
Yeah, but see, now that leads us back to a conversation about am I really stopping someone from existing if I make sure their eyes work right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I stopping someone from existing if I make sure that their bones form properly? It's a real sticky quagmire, because the person that would say there's two possible versions of the person. The person that would exist if I don't do anything, and the person that would exist if I remove or fix the gene for osteoporosis. Well, if I fix the gene and the person who had osteoporosis never existed, I haven't removed anyone from existence. I've helped a person that does exist.
Right. You helped a person not have to have osteoporosis.
Right.
But in theory, you could also be preventing someone who could do something great, because let's just take me, for example, and say that I am, not just a guy that's trying to be an entertainer. Say that I had become some sort of activist, and I made it my life's goal to create this piece of technology to make sure that nobody else had sight loss. If that technology had existed before and I hadn't existed as the person I was now, I wouldn't have then created the piece of technology.
But you wouldn't have needed to, because somebody would have already created it before you. Thus, you did not have the issue. So, have been placed in someone else's hands.
No, but okay, let's remove the piece of technology from the situation. Say that I became really passionate about something else and I made some sort of major discovery or enacted some sort of huge social change. I only made that change because of my experiences that I've had so far. If I hadn't have become the person who I am, that social change or whatever wouldn't have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So is it not important to still have these people who have certain experiences that lead them to do certain things?
Well, yeah, but you're making an argument that's untenable when you look at the real world conditions of it, my friend. What you're saying, I understand your point, but you got to think of it like this. If you hadn't been blind, you would have had other bullshit that happened to you. Everyone does. No one makes it out alive, and no one makes it out without a few scars. So, you can't argue against a net benefit for humanity just because it's going to affect the people that come after the net benefit was enacted. Because, they might need these struggles to make them aspire to better things. People are going to be pieces of shit or aspire to better things in every generation. That's just who humans are. We're always going to have a number of us that are not doing anything worthwhile, and a number of us that look at the bad in the world and try to fix it. And leaving bad intact in the hopes that there's more bad for people to fix later, that doesn't make sense on its face.
Right. Because there will always be enough bad to be remedied.
Right.
Regardless of whether we assist or not.
And for the record, I do actually completely agree with you. I was just
devil's advocating.
Just devil's advocating and just having a fun time with the actual discussion. When it comes down to it, there are certain things that we can't deny are bad. Yeah, it does create a situation in which some asshole could decide dark skin or blue eyes are an undesirable trait and try to eliminate them. But at the end of the day, whether or not I'm happy with my life and comfortable with who I am, it can't be denied that my experiences were bad. And without blindness, I probably would have had at least a more comfortable life.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go back and change it retroactively, but at the same time, it probably would have been better if it hadn't been like that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And that's kind of how I feel about a lot of things that happen in my life, both because of my genetics and because of my life circumstances. It's looking back, everything happened the way that it was meant to, and it led me where I am, and I'm happy with the route my life is currently traveling.
Mm-hmm.
But if some of that shit had just never happened, that would have been great.
Oh, meaty discussion, that. I enjoyed that.
Yes.
Yeah. Every now and then we demonstrate that we're not just idiots.
Actual thing.
Yeah, I know. They're totally 100% right with that. Yeah, I haven't had a philosophical discussion in quite a while. That was fun.
I feel stuff.
For something completely different. Caitlin, put it on screen.
It's on screen. Okay, here we go.
Alrighty, this is...
Your quota of intelligence has been exhausted. Please insert stupidity.
Here's the thing about how my brain works. I have to dig through the piles of idiot to find the nuggets, and then I grab the nugget and I look at it and I analyze it for a little bit, and then I'm like, yep, that one's worth keeping. I pocket it, and then I have to dig through more stupidity. That's just how the... So, what the fuck?
Also, even though we had a totally reasonable discussion there, someone's totally going to clip that one day and make it look like we're eugenicists.
Yeah.
What is it that monkeys do?
They monkey.
They throw poo?
Yes.
They do also do that.
Yes.
But for the record, I'm just going to come out and say it. And this, hot take. I believe in voluntary eugenics. I think it would be good for humanity. I think it would be really good if people engaged in voluntary eugenics. Now, Mason, do you want to know the title of this video, or do you want to be surprised about the topic?
I'll be surprised.
Okay.
Oh, some manliness right there. So myself and the missus went away to Prague for a week recently. Why? Because it's a beautiful and historic city with a rich history and interesting culture. Nah, I went there for the same reason everyone else does. It was lovely and cheap. Besides, I heard you get the best head in Prague. And as you all know, I certainly do love getting head. And I wasn't disappointed. I even managed to sneakily snap a picture for you guys to see. Hopefully, I won't get demonetized for this. Oh, just look at that. It's just filthy. Speaking of demonetized,
Mason, do you know the slang well enough to know what he showed a picture of?
Well, no, but I assume it will be the head on a beer.
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, so you know.
Context.
I want to mention today's video is brought to you by Patreon. Not the website itself, that'd be odd. No, I'm talking about those lovely lads and ladies that weirdly enable my antics on this site. Without them, I'd be forced to raise my prices when I sell my body on the street, and I'm already charging $5 a go. I've recently updated.
I thought it was $2 a ball.
Yeah, I thought it was $2 per ball, Ducky. What happened to that?
Yeah.
Was that a special? Is that gone now? Inflation. That's inflation, matey. You know, like you're downstairs after you pay me my $5.
Oh.
It's global economics, mate. It's hitting us all hard.
Yep.
The cost of living, man, it's just skyrocketing.
Are you doing this on purpose?
Am I doing what?
The entendres, you motherfucker! The cost of living, what do you say? It's inflating, skyrocketing.
No, I actually wasn't doing it on purpose. That's brilliant, though.
That's
just how comedic I am. It's just an innate thing that I do without even thinking about it.
Yep. I'm a comic genius.
The only person that doesn't find me funny is wifey number 4.
Mm.
And she's a cynical bitch.
No, I miss that woman. It's not been the same since she ran away with the milkman.
Why did she run away with the milkman, Mason Dark?
I have absolutely no idea. If I could answer that question, well, maybe I would actually be good at giving advice rather than just having a certificate that says I do.
Is that moment of clarity we were talking about earlier?
I think it might be. Is somebody experiencing personal growth?
To celebrate, let's go to a barbecue.
I'd prefer to go to a strip club.
Where they have barbecue. Is that a thing over in the UK, by the way, Mason? Do you know?
Zach, not being funny here, like, blind or not, do I seem like the sort of guy that would have ever stepped foot in a strip club?
I mean, maybe some of your friends have and they've told you about it. I don't know.
You think I have friends that... No, I have no idea, mate. I've never been even close to a strip club. In fact, actually, I have, but only because there was one. There was a bus stop outside.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's fucking funny. Well, I just asked because
catching the bus to the strip club. I don't know why that's just hilarious to me, but like,
no,
just like driving
out.
out.
Right, the mental image is fucking hilarious. You just got like $200 in ones in your pocket. You're on the way to get Starlight. You're fucking make it rain on Starlight for 2 hours before you're dead broke for the week.
Oh,
lobbing 50p's at her. She walks backstage at the end of the night. She's all bruised and shit because you've just been lobbing shrapnel at her all night.
Oh my god!
You lob a pound coin at her and then go and get it back because you're like, shit, I need that for tomorrow. I need that for the bus home.
I got kicked out of that titty bar in Vegas. God, you know, I thought in principle, well, shit, it's a silver dollar. It's the same as a paper dollar, right? Well, the bouncer didn't see it that way.
Just a handful of them. Make it rain. Just a bag of nickels or whatever.
Oh my god.
Just
What a
throwing
great-
rolls of quarters at her.
So regardless of what level of support you go for, you'll get early access to my videos, getting to see them a few days before they go live on the channel. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I have a link in the blurb below. Anyway, so our week in Prague started like any other holiday. The missus packed about 3 months beforehand, though I think she did this because she thought the Czech Republic was an impoverished country, because she packed enough to clothe the entire city. Or maybe she did it because she knows this gimp right here is going to be the one to have to carry them. I'm already a walking,
Or
talking...
because she, in the back of her mind, she was considering leaving you. She just hadn't decided yet. She was like, I'll at least wait until after the holiday.
Oh my god, Mason, that's dark. I'm so punny.
Because seemingly everything she owns has fake pockets. She likes the look of a pocket, it seems, just none of the practicality of them. So, hold this for a second. Happens about 20 times a day. It's gone so bad that I saw a nice pair of combat trousers in a shop recently and she went, oh look, a handbag. So we got through the airport and in typical fashion came within an hour, which infuriated me because I was already straddling the line of frustration because the missus is borderline OCD and is stressing out, and it's grating me because she keeps asking me if I've packed everything, what gate we need to go to, and do I have my passport. Oh, Christ, woman. Probably. Not even an apology from them about the delay. Although then again, we were flying Ryanair. They know too well. If you're flying with them, you probably didn't have any fucking choice. So we eventually boarded the plane. It was only 2.5 hours, so I presumed it was going to be grand. But it turned out to be a 2.5 hour long battle between me and a dead arse because of the seat on the plane. Ryanair strikes again. The seat had all the padding of a tannin mitt, which means as soon as I stood up, I was in that weird limbo of not being able to tell if I had a dead arse or if my jocks had genuinely just gone straight up my crack. And you do have to stand up eventually just so you can hear all these slow fuckers shuffling their way through the plane. I've never seen people move so slow in all my life. I couldn't help but think that if this plane burst into flames while I was sitting on the runway and you're sitting any more than 5 feet from the door and you're not the first one to get moving, you're done. So after we got off the plane in Prague, we had to make our way through the airport and got to the entrance to look for our driver, which is easier said than done because the entrance had about 100 people holding signs with different names on them. And even in current year, there's no real organised way to do this, so it's like a real life version of Where's Wally, except you don't know what he looks like, only that he's holding a sign with your name on it. And if that's not hard enough, your name is in a doctor's handwriting, so you probably wouldn't even recognise it if you spotted it. We even came across a chap holding a white sign with nothing written on it. Of course we laughed because he had obviously faced the sign the wrong way, and I was joking thinking maybe whoever booked it online never filled out the name part and the company just rolled with it. So our search continued for about another 20 minutes, and by this time the herd had thinned. There was very few people left, made up mostly of us and frustrated drivers who had now resorted to approaching people individually. A few of them approached us a few times, uttered some random foreign name, I'd say no, and then they moved on to the next person, until good old Mr. Blank Sign started walking straight towards us. I won't lie, I couldn't wait for him to approach us. I was mad to know how he was going to pronounce a blank name that didn't exist. But he walked up to me and said, "Are you Mr. Ducky?" I won't lie, I was actually a bit surprised by this, until I got a closer look at his sign. You see, it wasn't actually blank. It actually had Ducky written on it. And the reason why I couldn't initially see it is because he had chose to write the name on it with a bright yellow highlighter. So it was practically invisible under the fluorescent lights of the airport. And what's worse is I don't speak Czech and his English was crap. So it would have been an absolute mess to try point out his mistake to him. So I had to act like I was the idiot who didn't see the sign, which really pissed me off because he was the idiot, not me. But I did accidentally get my own back on him. You see, the Czech Republic is one of those countries that operates on a tipping culture. And on the day I arrived, I didn't realise that the tipping culture extended to drivers. So when he dropped us off at the hotel, he was left empty-handed. All he got was a, "Hell yeah, man, you drove the shit out of that minibus." So he's...
Oh my god.
Oh, he'd be deported from America for that, right? You guys are all about the tipping.
Yeah, it's actually really frustrating. No lie. I just since I learned the origins of tipping culture, it pisses me off. But it is what it is.
No. You can't leave me hanging on that. You know the origins of it, and I don't. So fucking educate me, bitch.
Okay, so tipping culture started in the era of the Great Depression when businesses were, obviously strapped for cash because everyone was. And so businesses started putting up signs that tipping was encouraged or flat out telling their staff, your most, if not all of your compensation is going to be tips. So ask for tips. And that's where it started. Great Depression, out of necessity. And it just never died.
And now these days people think you're rude if you don't.
Yep.
Whereas in over here, man, You only get a tip if you are absolutely exceptional.
Yeah, see, over here, and what pisses me off about tipping culture over here, instead of wages going up with inflation, it seems like tip expectation is going up with fucking inflation. When I was a kid, a 10% tip was standard. Now most businesses are acting like a 20% tip is standard. And I'm fucking sorry, I'm not doing that shit. A 10% tip is what you're fucking getting unless my meal came with a fucking live performance of my favorite movie, a rail of cocaine, and a blowjob from the hottest waitress in the establishment. I'm sorry. 20% fucking tip? No. No.
Yeah, that was like when I did that Fiverr thing for the last year Mason episode. The Opera Diva girl was like so good that I was like, oh, I'll give her a tip because that's an option. And I was like, that's cool. I'll probably use her again in the future. It builds goodwill. It's just a nice thing to do. Yeah, the way Fiverr works, you can only tip from what you originally paid upwards.
Right.
So you have to tip 100% minimum.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, man. Like, yeah, okay, I wanted to give her like a quid or two, but I paid £5 for this.
Yeah.
And now I've got to essentially pay 10.
That must be a region specific feature of that website, because that's not the case over here. Over here, I've used Fiverr like when I did my art for my books and the maps for my books, and I could tip like $5, and obviously the work was a lot more than that. So that must be a region-specific thing, and that sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, I've never paid any more than that, so it could possibly be that it's just that you can only tip a £5 minimum, and because what I used was a £5, it worked out as being, 100% tip. Whereas if I'd paid 50 quid, it might have still been that 5 was the minimum tip, but then it wouldn't have been anywhere near paying 100%. So yeah, okay, fair enough.
That's possible too. Yeah, I don't know if there's a minimum tip on the site, because usually even a 10% tip was significantly more than $5. Because all the work I've gotten on there was expensive as shit. Old man! What's up, homie?
What was that name?
Old man, but you could just call him Old Man.
Okay, give me a tone.
A tone? Gritty and dark.
Yes.
Oh man, you are awesome.
Yeah.
That's right on. That's right on theme, Mason. That's right on theme. Old man, this is our buddy Mason. He's from the UK. He's an author.
Maybe if you couldn't tell from the accent.
Right. Yeah, I love that. Caitlin, put that comment up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, this is known.
Through the window.
No, this is known thing. His response to Mason, you smart ass.
Well, I mean, I liked this one too.
Well, if he's responding to me, tell me what he said. You can't just flash it up on the screen. You cock.
That's what I said. He said, this is known. And now it says, had no idea he was from the UK.
And it's a pretty subtle accent. I don't blame you for not being able to tell.
No.
Oh my god.
People always ask me if I'm Australian.
I believe you.
I promise. Oh god.
Wherever I go, people ask me, where are you from? And I tell them, California.
Where the waves are high and the bitches are in bikinis all the time. It's great. I promise.
Oh.
I do my work on the beach while sipping on a freshly brewed coffee. It's the best. I promise. Come to California. This message was approved by the Tourist Board of California.
It's funny, old man. I actually saw the premiere. That was the one with Baltimore, and we're gonna watch that. I don't know if we'll watch it with Mason because Mason isn't a 40K guy. Although I have been thinking that one of these days we should sit Mason down and do some lore video reactions with him and see if I can get him into 40K.
Like at least the story part.
We could make it like a whole thing. Like, can I convert my blind British friend to a 40K hobbyist? Part 1.
Part 1.
We promise.
We promise. Part 1 of at least several hundred, because there's so much goddamn 40K lore. No human could possibly ever digest it all. I swear.
He goes, ah.
Hey, old man, if you don't know who Sergeant Ducky is, get ready to laugh, bro.
Spent the week there doing mostly touristy things, tried the food, seen the sights, usual boring stuff. Well, not boring, it was lovely, a real postcard of a city. Food and drink was lovely, the people were friendly, all that. It's just boring to listen to it be told back. Except on like day 3 when we went to Prague Zoo and snapped loads of photos. I even snapped this one of a duck's pond. Clearly, ducks being the legends that they are, were on a mad bender the night before and were after getting sick all over the pond. So it's good to know that duck armies representing all over the world. But the one thing that did happen at the zoo that stood out to us was when we were taking couples photos. You know the type. Let's put on big fake smiles and pretend we're the perfect couple so all our friends on Facebook will be jealous when we post it kind of photo. But just as one of the photos was being taken, a small child standing a few feet away in front of us fell over and absolutely ate the ground. It was such a sudden drop. He didn't even attempt.
That happened to us the other day. We were coming
going down.
We were coming out of a supermarket because that's where all of my fucking stories take place. They were coming down like one of the travelators, and we got to the bottom, and this girl just like got to the bottom and just face planted, and then all of a sudden there was just all these people around her, and I was just mortified for her because I was like, oh god, not only does she have the embarrassment of falling over, now she has like 10 adults all gathered around her like, are you okay?
Oh my god.
She's fine, leave her alone.
You're only making the trauma of this memory worse.
Back in my day, we used to fall down full flights of stairs, and we'd get off and we'd go, bloody hell, and then we just get along with our day. Kids these days, they're all namby-pamby.
Have you ever fallen down an escalator? Let me tell you, I did that 5 times when I was 6 years old, and I'm a better man for it. Never mind, my hand doesn't work.
Oh my god.
Character.
Old man, he said, welcome to 40K. Here's your suicide pills and a cheese sandwich that is shaped like a suicide pill, a teddy bear. And just remember, kids, hope is the first step on the road to disappointment.
It sounds like, no, I'm not going there. Forget that.
Oh man, I wanted to hear it.
Oh.
That sounds like all of my pre-sex speeches.
Baby, I'm going to give you the best 10 seconds of your life.
Welcome to the Palace of Love with me, Mason Dark. And remember, hope is the first step to the road of disappointment.
Oh my god.
That should be the intro for his fucking relationship advice specific column.
Yes.
The Love Palace.
Yes.
Was one of the few photos we have together where both of us sporting an actual smile. A couple of things did annoy me while I was there. One of which, as previously mentioned, is mandatory tipping culture. I hate tipping culture. Why am I paying your staff? You hired them. You're supposed to pay them out of the hefty profit you just made off me from what you charged me, you silly cunt. Also, we went to this Italian place for dinner one evening because it just seemed like the right thing to do in the heart of Prague. And there was this absolute cartoon of an Italian man waiting on tables there. He was fat.
I'm sorry, did he just imply that companies are supposed to pay their employees? Is he a communist?
That's the opposite of communism. What the fuck? If anything, tipping culture is more communist than fucking your company paying you.
Right. They're like, oh, yeah, well, this, because like here, especially in Mississippi, they're like, oh, we don't have to even pay you minimum wage.
He sounds like an anarchist to me. I'm just fucking with you, Zach. Take that frustrated look off your face. Just
I was
fucking
actually
around.
smiling. I was actually smiling and like kind of nodding my head, like I see it.
I just confused it with your "I'm taking a poo" face. Looks the same.
Oh my god.
Wearing a shirt with the top 3 buttons open and a gold chain on. I couldn't make up a more offensive stereotype if I tried. A real slimy fucker. And every time a woman would walk in, he'd be straight over and start soaking her in a thick layer of creepy flirting that you'd need to use 4 litres of bleach to get off you. Only short of licking his lips and saying, "Baby, you want pumping?" I actually reckon he owned a share in the business, because after a while he was talking to a group of now quite uncomfortable women, what I can only assume was his brother stormed out from behind the counter and started shouting at him in Italian while pointing at the other tables that creepy McFatarse was ignoring. My guess from the vibe I got from the argument was this was far from the first time tables had been ignored by Fat Tony here. But after he was done shouting at his brother, he shook his hands up into the sky and exclaimed, "Mamma mia!" I won't lie, I nearly shat a kidney, I was laughing so hard. Mamma mia! No, I just wanted to...
Mamma mia, that's Mama's past me to pause.
There it is.
Aye.
God, I wish we were on Twitch. We could play the Mamma Mia fucking the Mamma Mia command.
Oh my god.
Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia. I'll be cooking dough in the pizzeria.
Oh man. I wish there was a way to do that on here.
There is a way. I'm going to integrate the YouTube channel to Streamlabs so that we can do this, the YouTube broadcast from the same software I use for
the Twitchy?
You know the thing. Huh?
Uh-huh. The thing that you use for the Twitchy?
Yes. And make it work, I think. So yeah, words.
Move on. I am quite competitive over stupid things. I'll give you an example. I know a YouTuber, The Right Opinion. I have a lot of time for this man. He's a lovely bloke. You couldn't meet a nicer chap, and he puts out great quality videos. I've even had him over onto the channel a few times in the past. Consider checking him out if any of these kind of videos tickle your fancy, and I highly recommend the 2 videos he did on the rise and fall of Grade A Under A if that interests you. Now, once upon a time, me and The Right Opinion were neck and neck in subscribers. We were about 4,000 to 5,000 mark, I think. And this went on for some time where we'd keep edging past each other every other day. And then one day, all of a sudden, he blew up, getting himself over 100,000 subscribers in the space of a few months. Now, I have nothing but respect and good things to say about this man, and it's not often you can say that about YouTuber success these days, let's face it. And on the face of it, I was absolutely chuffed for him. Congratulations all round, well deserved and all that. But on the inside, I was fucking livid. Not because I put any value subscribers I had or any other that ego stroking nonsense, but because I had lost the race that we were having that only I knew we were in. It wasn't like wishing death upon him or anything crazy. Little bit of career derailing scandal wouldn't have gone amiss, but I'm fine now. I've gotten over it, and I'm not harbouring any kind of resentment towards him at all. No, I haven't heard anything about those slanderous rumours that he's pretending to be gay for sake of more views. Now stop.
He's like, I didn't do this for campaign. I didn't do it. Not me.
When Zach finds something really funny, he has a seriously Joaquin Phoenix Joker laugh. Like when something comes out of nowhere and you find it really funny, you've got that proper that laugh that he has in that movie.
It's that brings up a funny story from my childhood. So me and my sister, when we from the ages of 2 to 8 or 9, me and my sister shared a room up in the attic, and one morning I woke up and my sister was gone. And so I go downstairs and I'm like, "Hey, where's Charlene?" And Mom's like, "Oh, she's just in the other room, sweet." I'm like, "Okay." I was just worried because she wasn't up there. She wasn't there when I woke up. Usually we wake up together. She was like, "Oh yeah, she came down to sleep with me and your dad last night." And I'm like, "Why?" And my mom was like, "Well, you were laughing maniacally all night." And I was like, "What?" Yeah. So, yeah.
She should have taken a video of that, because if that was me and it was my kid, I would definitely take a video of that. At best, you've got something amusing to show your child. B, you've got something to show the therapist. C, you've got something to show the police.
Oh, that's good. I honestly, at the time that happened, I don't know if I don't know if there was a way to record video in our house. We've always been lower middle class, and a video recorder is not something we had. I think we had a Polaroid camera until I was like 14, bro.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that there was a time when video cameras did not exist or were not easily available?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. How did you record cute cat videos?
We watched the thing that was happening, and we stored it in our brain as a memory, and then told people about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, video cameras didn't exist, but you had digital storage in your brain?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. We downloaded it to our brain.
Yep.
I'm confused.
Oh my god.
Man. That's almost like that question on that philosophy of reading tag where they were like, if you could download books to your brain, would you still read?
Oh my god, yeah.
That's
Pay's
literally
response
what
to that.
you're doing.
Pay's response to that was just pure gold.
At the same time, you're all being like, I mean, I joked about it too, but we were all so pedantic about that question because we all fucking knew what the question meant, but we were all like, well, that's literally what reading is. Meanwhile, the guy who created the question is like, yes, but you know what I mean.
We're like, we don't care. You asked a silly question to a whole bunch of intellectuals.
Yeah. It's like, bro, I don't care that I understood what your dumbass meant. I refuse to come down to your level. Figure out how to actually ask what you're asking. I'm not sorry.
Right? It's not my fault that your stupid brain is what is it? Your idiot brain's being fucked by stupid.
and I take issue with something you just said, by the way. I am not an intellectual, Caitlin. I don't know whether you've watched the content on my channel, but I'm not a smart person. I'm a raging man-child.
I'm just gonna let you pretend that, Caton. Caton.
Caton.
Am I the stupid one? Is it actually me?
It sounds like the start of a poem.
We were the gooders around here.
Am I the stupid one? Is it me? Am I the one who is drowning in a sea of inequity? Do I find myself standing in a mirror wondering what the visage in front of me is or who it could possibly be? Have I lost all sense of identity? Am I swimming through an ocean of wondering and terrible confusion as I grasp for any meaning in this material world that I find myself in? What does any of this mean? Does 2 + 2 really equal 4? Am I going to be able to walk through the door of enlightenment when people share an unmitigated truth with me and I have to wrestle with its horrible ramifications? Or am I forever going to be locked in a quagmire of ignorance of my own making because I can't relinquish the comfortable reality I've made for myself?
Buy the new Expo Smart Droid Model 7. Don't be this guy.
Oh my god, I love it. Old man says this conversation, how it feels to chew 5 gum.
I'm not sure I understand what that means.
how it feels to chew 5 gum, and then it just goes to my little impromptu piece of fucking existential poetry there. Stimulate your senses. Caitlin,
Yes.
remind me to make. I'm making that video. I'm clipping this out. I'm making a 5 gum meme, and nobody can stop me.
That's right.
Oh God, old man, I love you, bro.
Yeah.
That was fucking brilliant.
When you lose the internet connection for 5 seconds.
Oh my God.
Just come back to that.
Yes. This is beautiful. He says, yeah, exactly. It's new 5 gums to stimulate your senses. That's awesome.
How it feels to chew 5 gum. Stimulate your senses.
We'll get through the Sergeant Ducky video eventually.
We will. It will happen.
What's beautiful, I actually made one of those 5 gum memes for when. So I went, old man. I don't know if you've heard me say this.
Wait. Use this music. What music?
Okay.
Send it to us in Discord.
Yeah, or post it in Discord.
Send it to us in the Discord.
Yeah, put it in the long table. But yeah, I had 3rd-degree burns over 20% of my body, mostly on my back one time. And I got video of them scaling me in the hospital. And I used that to make a 5 gum because they peeled a big chunk of skin off of my back. So it was the intro for the 5 gum. And then it was them peeling the skin. And I was like, ah, let her rip. And then it was,
oh my God.
I'll post it on the channel. I have it somewhere. I'll post it on the channel. It was fucking amazing.
That was one of the first videos you ever sent me.
Yep.
I can totally see why you ended up where you are now. Because when I first met somebody, they sent me a picture of somebody peeling skin off their back, I'd fall in love with them too. Watching that video, like, this is the guy. Anyone who's willing to open up and send me a video like that is somebody worth knowing.
A man literally being peeled apart.
This is how I'm going to feel if you don't talk to me.
Oh God. Okay, I think I heard the Discord thing, so I'm going to finish this Ducky video, then we're going to check out the music he sent us. Yep. It's a bit of someone getting flayed. Well, at least I know your boundaries.
What? He eats pineapple pizza in the bath. Now, come on, lads. Those kind of nasty rumours could harm a man's reputation, allowing other YouTubers to catch up. So that's the kind of petty competitive person you're enabling by supporting me. I tell you about this competitive nature because when we arrived back in Ireland at the end of the week and we were heading through the airport, there was this fella and his child walking in front of us. So I decided in my own head that this was a race. So I began to speed up to beat him to the gate. And in typical fashion, nobody else knows this is a race. This is just me being weird, as I've decided to bravely outwalk this man and his young child. But I'm starting to walk faster than the acceptable speed for walking. And at this point, I'm starting to leave my travel stress missus behind. And she starts barking at me to slow down, which puts me at a bit of an impasse. To my left, I can ignore the pleas of my missus and put a sour bookend on this romantic week we've had together in order to win a silly race that only I know I'm in right now. And to my right, to wait for my already stressed out travel mode OCD bag burden missus to catch up so we can bring this holiday to an end argument free, abandoning the race entirely. So I go for the obvious choice and think, fuck her, she's dead weight. She's only been holding me back and winners need to make sacrifices.
Why? How is this man still married? Everything that he's told us about his relationship with his wife is just like, why is this woman still with you?
Well, actually, it's funny you say that. They're not married. I actually recently watched a Q&A video, and I don't think they're married. I think they're just in a long-term committed relationship.
Okay.
It's like that. It's like that's
Caitlin, highlight old man's comment.
It's abandoned reason. No, only war.
What I love about this, I'm sorry, Mason, I just got to get this out. What I love about this segment right here is this is shit I do. I've literally been like that. Almost exactly that, actually. Okay, Mason, what were you going to say, bro? I'm sorry.
I was just saying fuck you. Anyway, it doesn't matter whether they're married or not. If they're in a long-term relationship, this point still stands. Why is she still with this guy?
Right.
Well, I mean, in the fact that they're in a long-term relationship and there's not any kind of like contract necessarily speaking, makes it even more miraculous.
Yeah, she doesn't have financial incentive to stay, so what is she staying for? There's no children, there's no financial incentive. Are you saying that she's staying because she loves him?
What is wrong with this woman?
What kind of utopia are you living in?
Right. It's like you willingly put up with this. Yes.
Yeah, I do.
The NOS button and start fucking flooring it up the airport, walking at completely reckless speed. I've never walked so fast in all my life. I had to actively think about how I was walking. I was going so fast. Out of fear, I lost control and wrote myself off. My shoes... There was grocery stands being smashed to bits. There was security in a golf cart behind me telling me to pull over to the side of the hall. It was intense. But to hell with it, because I was starting to gain some serious ground. I was right in his tail, and the finish line just came into sight. Now I knew if I just really buried the shoe, I could just about creep past him at the finish, but it was going to be close. That's when the man and the kid made a fatal flaw on the home stretch. Presumably tired from all the walking and lugging around luggage as well as a child, he veered sharply to one side and headed straight toward one of them moving walkways that was running along the same stretch of hallway we were walking on. And that's when I knew I had this in the bag. He'd be standing on that, looking at me, absolutely booting it on by on the
They walked on it. They walked on it.
proper walking side. Now, in hindsight, I can tell you that he was a nutcase like myself and knew it was a race. Because when he got onto the moving walkway, he kept walking. And because of the walkway, he was now moving at twice the speed, which means I had absolutely passing him out at this point without breaking into a full-on sprint. And I know he knew it was a race, because when he got onto it, he looked back over his shoulder and looked right at me with a glance that says, "Nice try, Duckman," and powered his way across the finish line.
No, dude. It's because you're following him through the through the airport. He thinks that you're trying to kidnap his son. He's like, Dylan, just keep walking. Don't look back. Keep walking. We need to get to the car as quickly as possible. There's a man following us.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, there's another YouTube channel of this guy that's like, so let me tell you about my experience coming home from my holiday the other day. So I'm walking through the airport. I've got my son with me. I've got my luggage with me. I feel like some sort of clown trying to juggle a handful of grenades. And then all of a sudden, not only is that what I've got to worry about, I look behind me and there's this guy. And he just has the most intense look on his face. And he's just powering towards me. And at first I just think maybe he's in a rush. But I took a corner and he followed me. I got onto a travelator, and rather than standing there and waiting for the travelator to carry me away, I kept on walking so that I'd be walking double speed to him, but he sped up.
Oh my God. Old man. He said, my wife looks at me sometimes. I can tell the only reason I'm still alive is because she can't pay a hitman. And then, he says, yeah, random guy running up on me, my kid in an airport in a duck mask. The fuck can go wrong with this situation?
Also, I'm such a jumpy person. Like, I wish you could see how much of a jumpy person I am when we're out. Just any loud noises, like, oh my God, what was that? But like to the point where, because I was just lulled into this false sense of security, when he brought in that music during that last part of the story, I actually jumped. And like for a second, because I didn't realize it was music, I thought someone was tapping on the window next to me, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then I realized that it was just music, and I was like, "You idiot!"
Oh my God.
If I'd have been on camera, you'd have seen me look to the side like, "What?"
Mason, aren't you on like the third floor?
No, ground floor.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you told me at some point you were on the third floor. I'd have been like, how could he possibly be knocking on the window, Mason?
Maybe you're getting confused. Maybe you're getting confused because of view from the fifth floor.
Yeah, maybe.
Believe it or not, I'm not a dog.
He's
Although
like,
I could be. I could be. Imagine that as a revelation. Okay, today's
I
the
have
day, guys.
never
I'm going
actually
to reveal myself.
Oh my god.
He said, this
This is
only
only the ninth weirdest thing I've seen on an acid trip in the airport.
Feet once again. But thankfully, I've matured a bit over the years. Look, he won fair and square, and I'm not going to get petty over it. I'm okay with it. But now that I'm recalling this, it has me thinking, I didn't really get a good look at the man and the child. But I can confidently tell you who it was. It was actually the right opinion and his son from his secret straight family. So that's the video on my trip to Prague, and I hope you enjoyed it. Just wanted to use this end bit to give a shout out to Skumpkin and REEEEAAACTION, two massively talented artists who helped me make these videos look so good. Of course, they'll be linked in the description if you want to give them a follow on Twitter, because you never know when you might need a good, reliable artist. Skumpkin is a newcomer to the behind the scenes of the channel and did a great thumbnail for this video, which you can see in all its glory here. She does everything you can expect from a good artist: profile pictures, channel headers, designs for t-shirts, posters, etc. She's out to prove herself and has a surprisingly fast turnaround, so if you need any work at all that may involve an artist, she's your gal. REEEEAACTION is my tried and true go-to for character designs, as you might have seen in a few flashy extra background characters in this video, as well as the characters used for Just a Robot and Serpent Mythos in my work stories video that I forgot to mention at the end, and it's been eating me with guilt ever since. Of course, REEEEAACTION is a fantastic artist. He does do commissions and has been helping me do art for the channel for years now. As you can see, all these characters are his, so you know he's a good sort. Their help is a big reason to why my upload schedule has become way more consistent lately, as some of you have noticed. And I think artists do get very overlooked on these kind of videos, so it would mean a lot if you guys can go show them some support over on Twitter. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you lads and ladies in the next one. Now, once upon a time, me and the right opinion.
Old man says, that was, however, the worst argument I've had in front of an inanimate object in front of a hundred of nuns and the Mormon tabernacle.
Oh man, seriously, as I don't know. It's funny that we mentioned that I was British, not that I'm blind, which you would think would be the more important thing that we'd mention. But anyway, when it comes to inanimate objects, you should see how many of them I've apologized to over the years. Like when we're out in public and I've like bumped into a bin or a shelf or a lamppost and not quite realized what it was and turned around and gone, sorry. I only feel like whoever I'm with to be like, it was a bin. I think I told the story on my channel before, but it's definitely it happened quite a few years ago now. My dad was getting remarried to my stepmom, and we went to this place to buy the suits for his wedding. And I'm like sort of bored and wandering around, and I bump into this person, and they just tumble over, and I am mortified because I'm like, oh no, I've knocked this person over, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. There's nothing, no response, no movement. It's because it was a mannequin.
Oh my god.
The inverse has also happened, where I was in a clothes shop with a mate of mine, and we're like wandering around and we're looking at different things. And obviously, bearing in mind, because of how shit my vision was at the time, I had to get really close to things. So I go right up to this mannequin and I'm looking at this top, and I'm like, I turn to my friend and I'm like, oh my god, this top. Look at this, man. It's hideous. Only to realize it's not a fucking mannequin. It's a real dude. To this day, sometimes I think about that guy, and I wonder if I sent him into like some sort of existential crisis, because he's just like wandering through the shop and he's like minding his own business, and this teenage boy who's like no older than like 16, I've just left school at the time, so this teenage boy just wanders up to him confidently, strokes a hand down his chest, feels like the t-shirt that he's wearing, and goes, dude, this is hideous. I'd never wear that, before walking away. and sometimes I just wonder whether he like looks back on that and he's like, and that was the moment that I realized I had terrible dress sense. And like every now and again, like 6 months later, his wife is like, "What is wrong with you? Why are you in such a bad mood today?" And he's like, just thinking about that time in Top Man. For God's sake, Robert. It's just this little innocuous moment in my life that absolutely changed his life.
Oh,
Did that actually
that's
fucking happen?
beautiful.
Basically, you actually walked up to a random guy and ran your hand down his chest.
Oh yeah, because I thought it was a mannequin. Dude was just like standing there in the middle of the aisle, like basically in the position where a mannequin would be, and I wanted to feel like what material the t-shirt was, so I just sort of, like ran my hand along the t-shirt and like, did like the whole running it between my fingers sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I wandered away that my friend like sort of got close to me and was like, "Dude, that was a guy." I'm like, "What? That wasn't a mannequin. That was a guy." Like, why did he not knock me out? I'm so lucky that he didn't punch me.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
It was probably because he was just so shocked, though.
Yeah.
He was either
into
shocked,
inaction,
or he saw like how, because you told me like you used to squint hard, right, to see. So maybe he saw how squinty you were and realized you were visually impaired.
Yes, very possible.
Yeah.
It was also possible that I had my cane at that time, because I've been through different phases. There was a time during my teenage years where I did use my cane, and then I got too self-conscious about it and got really into the whole "I don't want to be seen as a blind person" phase.
Yeah.
And just, wandered around sort of bumping into things like Woozy Moo from San Andreas. And then obviously I got my guide dog, and then once my guide dog retired last year, I started using my cane again, and I wouldn't go back. I really like using my cane. It's so good. It gives me the independence I need, and it allows me to hit people in the shins when they're an arsehole.
Yeah.
Old man says, "Are you kidding me? Some obviously gay and blind guy just roasted the shit out of him for his fashion sense. I would pull one of my ex-girlfriends. I would pull one of my ex-girlfriends and burn my whole damned wardrobe. That would ruin my shit for at least 3 months. You sent him into the shadow realm of depression."
I love how he assumes that I'm obviously gay.
I thought, I gotta admit, Mason, I saw that and I was like,
that's actually legit the first time that anybody has assumed that I am gay.
oh man, that is
unless he was doing it in character of the dude and was thinking that the dude would have assumed that you were gay.
Oh yeah, that would, yeah, I could understand the dude.
I think you're assuming that like the running the hand across the chest thing was a lot more like, like a like
Right,
full on like open palm down the chest, as opposed to like the just like, to the side, sort of just feeling the material thing, and then like sort of just gently squeezing his nipple and
That's perfect, because old man just commented, "Well, hey man, you literally prefaced the roast with the fact that you felt him up and nearly sexually."
Yeah, thank God I'd grown out of the point of like touching mannequins' arses at that point. That would have been really bad.
I think the story would have gone very differently. Like, yeah, I thought it was
imagine if it had been like walking up, walk up, hand on the arse, turn to my friend. "Look at the proportions on this mannequin, Brad. They're not realistic at all. Nobody has an arse like this." Or like wandering up, or like put my hand on the arm of the mannequin, like, "I wish I had these sort of biceps."
Oh my god. Oh, it says, give him a twist. That would have made it all better.
Oh my god, yes.
Now is as good a time as any, really quick, to anyone who watches this in posterity.
Yeah.
Old Man Reacts is a fucking reaction channel. He reacts to a lot of different shit, a lot of 40k shit, some SCP shit, and he does some original content too, which is hilarious. Definitely go check him out.
Yeah.
Old Man Reacts. Check out, if you're a 40k person, check out his video on Herman von Straub. 25-ish minute lore, Herman von Straub. If you don't cry laughing, you don't have a sense of humor.
Speaking of humor, there was 2 videos that I added to the playlist, and you should decide between them. One of them was a blind stand-up comedian that I thought would be funny to react to because I can tell you whether his observations are accurate. You know, because I can objectively say that all blind people have the same experiences. But there's also just like an 11-minute video of Frankie Boyle roasting his audience members, which is always hilarious. So,
yeah, we can definitely check out both of them. Dude walks up, squeeze, squeeze. When did they start making these anatomically correct and with micro dicks?
He's like, and this shirt sucks.
This shirt, it sucks.
It sucks. I promise.
Oh, it's hideous. I wouldn't be seen dead wearing this shirt. I mean, anyone who would wear this shirt clearly has no fashion sense whatsoever. I mean, I would say that
our familiar faces, faces, worn out faces.
Wanna drown myself in my bathtub. I'm gonna do it. Gonna do it.
Strangle myself with a charging cord now. Smartphone 5 now. Buy it right.
No, excuse me. The X1 Smart Droid Model 5, which is exactly the same as the Model 4, but twice the price, which, you know, it's good and you want it. It is cordless. It's cordless. That's better for the environment and it's more convenient for you. I promise.
Oh my god.
He says, if it were being filmed, they'd cut to a picture of a cat sitting in rain with the cry eyes zoomed in.
Yeah, I bet the guy was half expecting Ashton Kutcher to like step out like, oh
damn it.
god, that's super dated. Like that one reference just showed my age.
Caitlin,
My brother, who's 18 years old, would be like, "Who the fuck's Ashton Kutcher?"
put it on the screen, Caitlin.
Okay. On the screen. Come on, do it.
Introducing the new X-Phone Smart Droid Model 5. It's exactly the same as the Model 4, but now it's milk bottle white and twice the price. So you know it's good and you want it. Talk chew.
Old man.
I love that fucking song.
Oh god, hang on. Let me play you the full fucking thing here. I've as you can see when I pulled up the video that this is in, the fucking player brought me straight to the location of the fucking ad because I've come to this video to watch the full ad several times.
I love that.
Listen to this, old man, and tell me this isn't comedy genius.
It sounds like you're going to need it. It's time for a commercial break. Introducing the new X-Phone Smart Droid Model 5. It's exactly the same as the Model 4, but now it's milk bottle white and twice the price. So you know it's good, and you want it. It's got a 3500 megapixel camera with a zoom that's effective up to 9K. You can start that private investigation business you've been dreaming of, send pictures of your neighbor's yard to the HOA, or snap expert photos of your ugly kids to share on social media. It's okay. We'll all pretend we care. We promise. We know you gotta pay attention. That's why we guarantee that the Model 5 will break within 18 months. But by then we'll release the Model 6, and you'll buy that too. The X-Phone Smart Droid Model 5. It looks good, and that's all that really matters. Indulge your addiction to buying things and get it now, right this second. Don't think about it, just do it. Told you. Welcome back, everybody.
I love your reaction, old man. Mason, old man says, "Is this an iPhone commercial?" And then a couple seconds later, he typed in, "It is."
What is brilliant, in all fairness to that advert, is that I created that. This is so fucking egotistical. I hate this. I created that advert because I watched someone else do an iPhone parody advert, and I was like, I could do that, but better. Because the dude was just making loads of jokes that I was like, yeah, I see what you're doing with that, but like this is like super long-winded, and I'm not finding it very funny. And I was like, I can do this, but make it funny.
He says,
No, I have not, old man. If you want, if it's like under 20 minutes, I assume it probably is. You should definitely drop it in the Discord, and we'll 100% react to it right now. And so, Chris, I assume Chris McClausland is the blind dude, Mason?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, let's go look at this really quick.
I have no idea whether he's funny or not. I searched for blind stand-up comedian and I put it on the playlist because I thought, why not like react to something that A, might be funny, and B, I can tell you whether or not he's, funny from a blind person's perspective.
Full of shit, yeah. Oh, he also sent us that music he was referencing earlier about what we should set the fucking 5 gum thing to. This is also, so this is 2 things. This is 2 things that are like a minute and a half, and then we'll watch the comedian.
The prophecy is true.
What the fuck am I watching right now? Mason, I gotta describe this to you. So a woman set a flower on a cat's head, and it zoomed into the cat's face. It like made a face, and it zoomed into the cat's face. And now the cat is like zooming through the cosmos. It's like going through the galaxy, and like stars are splitting apart. The sun is rising. There's fucking majestic clouds in Africa. We just got a bunch of religious iconography. Now we're zooming across the ocean. Now we're in like a fucking primordial soup, and DNA is being made. This shit is wild right now, Mason.
oh my God.
I wish your audio description was like that.
Yeah, old man, I'm 100% using that music. Thank you for sharing that with me. I am 100% using this fucking music when I fucking do the 5 gum thing with my fucking poetic rant there. Thank you.
Badass.
All right, this is the Yinzari from Old Man Reacts. This is a fucking homebrew D&D campaign trailer, which is a very interesting concept. So let's check this out.
Hey kids, do you like aliens? Do you like D&D, but hate not having aliens in your D&D? Well, perk up, because now the Yinzari, made by the same guy who actually said the following quotes.
That is not your name to take, you soggy bread loaf. It's all guinea pig.
Wait, what?
That insult is going into my arsenal.
Your lexicon, I concur. I want to hear you use that.
You soggy bread loaf.
It's all remixed, you fucking guinea pig.
God, the vitriol in there, man.
I know.
You punching me in the face.
Guinea pig. The hate.
Fucking guinea pig.
The ire. The disdain. The malice.
I can't even fake that level of vitriol. It's impossible.
Oh god, that was beautiful.
Over 60 pages of lore, creatures, backgrounds, and NPCs, including playable morphs like the Hunter, the Crafter, the Pathfinder, and the Spear, and you'll even find out what a morph is. So what are you waiting for? Serve the High Queen now. A creature so strong we had to nerf her 3 times.
3 times. That's brilliant.
Dragons. Learn about the home nest, the Yanzari's life cycle, and special backgrounds exclusive to being a Xeno. I mean Yanzari.
Oh man, I like the addition of the kung fu grip thing there. That's a nice callback. I love that. It's brilliant, bro.
This makes me feel like we're kindred spirits, old man.
Oh yeah, one of these days we'll have old man on for one of the Saturday reaction streams, and all 4 of us could take the piss on content together. I think that'd be a great time.
Jump on in, sit on down, meet new people, then drool on them. All praise a biohazard containment suit level 3. Level 3.
Level 3.
We're built-in filters. Available on YouTube.
Old man, I don't know where you record. I don't know whether you have like any sort of studio or whether you just do it at home. But if you do record at home, do you ever have that experience that I have, because I record in my bedroom and I live in a flat? Do you ever have that experience of like you're doing all this ridiculous voiceover shit and you're like, anyone who hears me right now must think that I am absolutely insane? Like when I'm sitting there, especially like say when I was recording the Justice Archives, and I'm sitting there for hours doing Dylan's voice, and I'm just like over and over again doing different takes, and I'm thinking they must be upstairs thinking, what the fuck is that guy doing? And when I was doing like the Denial advert, and I was like, "Hi, I'm Dave Conman, and I'm here to tell you a secret, the biggest secret."
Oh my god! He says, "Dude, I record a series called 5-ish Minute Lore, where at times I'm literally screaming in the microphone, yelling out insults, and talking about space wizards." He says, "Mood, kindred."
Oh shit! Quick shout out to my boy Garbage over on Twitch. He's pumping it up.
Pump it up.
Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. I fucking love this dude. If you like fucking game content, if you like people who are just hyper as fuck and have a super positive vibe, go check out my boy over on my boy Garbage. Right there. His name right there. Garbage over on Twitch.
Need
Fucking
an
love
energy
it, dude.
boost. Just be like free energy.
Alrighty, so this is Chris McLaughlin live at the Apollo. Let's check this out.
Here we go.
I do that on my OnlyFans anyway. Oh, that was bleak, wasn't it? Sometimes things come out of my mouth and afterwards I'm like, what part of my brain did that come from?
The saddest sad corner.
Oh, wow, Mason. Your cheery veneer really is thin, isn't it?
Oh, that's exactly how I like veneers. Thin, so I can punch through. Giggity.
The human in front of your computer, just so you can log on and go, oh, £2.80. Sorry, Nan.
Oh man.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen. You guys are being lovely.
Stream suspended for policy violations. Oh, great.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Stream unavailable. Stream suspended for policy violations.
What the
Lovely.
Absolutely. What did he do?
That's a damn good question.
We're
Hang on.
still live on Facebook and Twitter, so
that is
wow. YouTube really does hate you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't like that's not. It's like, and that's weird because it still says live on the. It still says live when I go to YouTube Studio. That is very interesting.
Oh no.
What the
I was
fuck?
here this time. Their hatred's going to spread to me now too.
Well,
Oh God.
I knew I shouldn't have associated with you. My carefully constructed reputation is going down the drain.
live stream copyright notice.
Oh, it was a copyright.
Okay.
It
Makes
must have
sense.
From
I
what?
think the BBC are notoriously like stringent about that sort of thing. I should have thought about that.
Well,
God.
it's still gonna be in the StreamYard, and we're
Right.
still live on Facebook and Twitter, so we can just go back to the VOD and
Yeah. I'll just get for the shit that I want. I'll grab the VOD out of StreamYard and upload. If nothing else, that fucking epic bit of impromptu existential dread poetry I did because that was mint.
yes,
That was pretty good, yeah. That was pretty good.
yeah.
Anyways, let's see if there's anything else on this list. You only added the 2 things, but there's still stuff on here we never watched. Best news bloopers 22. Hey, Caitlin, you want to check out some news bloopers?
Yeah.
Okay. Put us back up on the screen, will you?
Yes, and I will tell you
In the bloopers this month
are kind of my jam because my sister used to work for a news station. So,
As you love to remind me.
holiday cocktails.
Oh man, you put a lot in there.
Mr. Potato Head. Pets and marriage. Mother's Day.
That just came out. That isn't what was on the script, actually.
All of this and more.
I'm going to admit to you that that's all. So, and I'm just finishing it, and I'm ashamed to say that, but there you go.
On the best news bloopers of 2022.
Thanks. Mic drop, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Before we get started.
Oh, that's interesting. It looks like we're back up on YouTube. That's
Like, you're not watching BBC content anymore.
That is interesting. I didn't know YouTube could do that. That is fascinating. I had no idea you could selectively take you down, and then when you were back to stuff that wasn't. That's well, all right, YouTube. All right, whatever.
Started. Hit the like button for confetti and subscribe. First, let's go to meteorologist Brett Collar for the average May temperatures in Detroit.
A good 10 to 15 degrees above where we should be this time of the year. So halfway through the month, we have big dip down.
You accidentally said dick live on air.
Barakello.
Milwaukee, an active night tonight across the central United States. United States, everybody. Okay.
No, love. It'd have been so much better if you just skated over it and ignored it.
Yeah. And just kept going.
Fire at a Fresno apartment complex. Reporter Alexis Govea has the details.
And a fire leaves several families looking for a place to live. Coming up, where this happened and how many. Sorry, there's a dog right below.
You can hear her brain like going off track.
Yes. Yes.
Looking for a place to live where they are, and there's a dog over there. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted.
I gotta fill you in on this, Mason. What made it super hilarious is she like grabbed at her crotch and she was like, "Oh, I'm the dog."
Oh, no.
Edinburgh.
Jess?
You're on.
Am I?
Oh my god.
For real? The high school softball playoff.
Oh my god. Oh.
No, I'm just fucking with you. You're not live right now.
was on his phone. He was on his phone doing something, and Jacob just looks up. He's like, "Yeah,
yeah."
Am I? And then the pause before, for real?
Like, yeah.
It's like, yeah, bro. You're standing in front of the camera. What did you think was going to happen?"
I gave you a countdown.
Right?
Across Texas.
For the beach forecast in Honolulu, here's meteorologist Ben Gutierrez.
Beach not looking too bad as well. The UV index.
Yes, we will take it away. Thank you so much for that forecast, Ben. For the fire danger levels in Tampa, here's meteorologist Amanda Hawley.
Well, 3 out of 5 with that high risk. And one of those reasons is because we have, where are we going down here? Just getting really short. We have strong breezes. Oh, and
Oh my God, Mason, this is brilliant. The fucking people running the fucking camera perspectives for the green screen and everything are moving her around.
You're distracting her, guys.
Oh. Like,
Electricity costs are increasing in Pennsylvania. Reporter Megan Majensky has the details.
Penn Power, 22.7%. Let's see if we can get to the next slide here with some more details on it. Let's see. Next slide. Next slide.
Oh, dear.
No. Okay. Well, anyway.
Oh, dear. My butthole just fused closed. That was like grade A, like high school teacher giving a presentation and not knowing how to use the technology.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And what's even like in that situation, I feel for because it's like you're not the person responsible for the slide. So.
Right. It's like, is this because this was just, a run of the mill cock up, or did you piss someone off in production?
It's just an intern.
That would be absolutely brilliant. She she ate someone's food out of the fridge. like, we'll show you to take my bagel, Stacy, you fucking bitch.
I'll make you look like a high school teacher that doesn't know how to work the technology.
It's like, even though you wouldn't really need much assistance, according to some of the stories I've heard.
Then Bird and meteorologist Chase Franks for Hurricane Preparedness Week.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a friend on the. Oh, wow. That is a large bug. Anyway, okay. So that came in like a storm. Well, thank you, Chase. We have an unwanted visitor in the studio as of right now, but that's
no.
You all kind of watch me freak out to a bug. That's a little embarrassing. Thank you, Chase. The Hurricane Preparedness Week is coming up.
For a breakdown of the 7-day forecast in Eau Claire, here's meteorologist Derek Dahlman.
Into the 80s again, that will come with at least isolated chances of showers and storms, but overall, I know I will be pulling the shorts out rather.
Freudian slip there, man. Oh dear.
I love the guy's face. He's making his he's got that tight, that against his teeth, like flatline smile and browser raised.
Oh, did I say? What did I just say?
Like, oh no. It's like, no.
Not taking my shorts off. Don't worry about that.
I was going to say, I don't need my jacket anymore. But you got us good. All right. Thanks, Jared. Next, Jared.
Let's get festive in Indianapolis. Mixologist Tyler Gillespie joins anchor Scott Jones and Lindy Thaxton for some fun Cinco de Mayo cocktails.
Look at skill.
I didn't even stand back.
Well,
I just
did it to give him a stage.
You fucked up.
He's like, look at me. I'm going to be all fancy. And then he just...
Is it a thing in America? So, for context, in Britain, it started in high school, but it has carried on to just general adult life. If we're in a public place and somebody drops something like a plate or a cup or something smashable, when it hits the floor, everybody, and I do mean everybody, because this recently happened while I was in a coffee shop, people will pause in what they're doing and go, "Hey!"
That does happen here too. Yes. Yeah.
The
Well,
reactions are different depending on the venue, though. Sometimes people will be like, "Oh!" or sometimes people are like I've seen a lot of people laugh. Yeah, the reactions are mixed, but yes, the everyone making a big deal out of someone dropping. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing here in the States too, depending on the venue you're at.
And
People are such dicks.
At the bar I was working at, they would some people would applaud.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
Yep.
I've heard of that too.
Gravity check became something that a lot of us would yell.
Gravity check.
We're like, gravity check.
Oh dear, just to pile on the embarrassment to the already like embarrassing situation. Humanity is awful.
Hey, we're social animals, and part of being social is taking the piss on people who fuck up. That's just part of the social contract.
So
It's
if
okay.
that happens, you were saying, Lindy, what you want to do is then pour the drink
You can't
over
have
the
any
ice.
of mine.
Sure.
There's no shards in that, right?
No shards in this at all.
No shards in this. There's no shards in the glass of this cocktail I made you at all. I swear.
I promise.
I swear.
Caitlin, you got to come in with a third one.
I swear.
Well, but I took it, so you got Caitlin. Just play along, man. You're supposed to say, "I believe you." God damn it! That was the third one that was missing. God
We're
damn
the
it!
worst improv group
Why
ever.
must you always? Why do you disappoint me so often?
I kind of do that with everybody.
Oh, you've never disappointed me, Kate.
Aww.
Aww.
I believe you.
I promise.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, God damn it.
Retrograde, here's meteorologist Ella Dorsey.
I got something to say here.
All right. Yeah, go
you
for
know all those girls on their Instagrams that are like, well, Pluto and Jupiter is crossing the path of Mercury, which means my sign Sagittarius, I'm going to have a good week and my love life is going to go. It's all crap. All of it. All right. The stars have nothing to do with your love life. That's just the way it is. All right.
Developing now, reporter Jeremy Pierre joins us live with details on an incident in Memphis.
A, shut up and just do the weather. Like, shut up and do your job. I wasn't asking you to editorialize. And B, get your script straight before you do it, because stumbling over it made that whole joke way less funny because you didn't know what to say.
I think she was kind of freeballing that, and clearly she lacks the crisp improvisational talent that I myself have come to be known for. At least, of the three people currently on this stream, because
yes,
no one pays attention to me outside of this.
Yeah, I love how you took all the credit for that there too. It's like you could have said that Team Adventurous has become known for, but no, it was a chance to stroke your own shaft. This isn't Team Adventurous. This is Zach Adventurous. Mason and Kate.
Hey, I couldn't be as awesome as I am without you two constantly here to remind me how awesome I am.
Oh, he's like, yep.
You need bringing down a peg or four.
Camera is tight.
I need to be brought down a peg or two, but Kaylin's not even here. Who's gonna wear it?
That's true.
I love the silence.
No, I get
It's
you.
so loud.
You're taking a leaf out of Prince William's book. I get you. He was trending a few days ago as hashtag Prince of Pegging because
Wait. No, go on. I want to hear this.
What?
Because Prince William was trending like last week, I think, as hashtag Prince of Pegging because there's like rumors that have surfaced that he had an affair, and not only did he have an affair, but the mistress that he was having the affair with pegged him, and I turned to Lee and I was like, "Do you ever think that the Queen just goes, for fuck's sake, you're all making such idiots of me?" Like recently she's had William getting rumors about being pegged. She's got Prince Andrew like going through this whole like fucking possibly being a pervert like thing going on, and I just must think, A, she must be like, you lot are fucking idiots. B, you lot are fucking idiots for getting caught being idiots.
Yes.
And C, why does the internet exist? Because we all got away with this, like pre-2000.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, it is lovely, isn't it? Yeah. Ah, Prince of Pegging. That's bloody brilliant.
As somebody who's not like a monarchist or whatever, I did find it funny.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious. It's absolutely fucking hilarious. Fuck the monarchy and fuck the royal family.
I mean, they're a good tourist attraction, but past that,
right?
Yeah. There you go.
To the hospital, and that's where he later died. Now, right now, it's a very hard time for the entire family. The shooting took place just before 10:30 here on. So, of course, we're gonna continue to stay with this story all throughout the.
That was hilarious. What just happened there, Mason? A blind guy with the thing started with a blind guy walking towards the camera using his cane to follow the curb, and the fucking newscaster didn't hear him, so the blind guy pops up on his side. He's like, "Ah!"
It's what's brilliant is if that was me, there's at least a 70% chance that me and Lee would have seen that guy doing the news report, and then I would have just gone and done that on purpose.
And that's why you're part of Team Adventurous, Mason.
Yeah, but it would have been made less funny by the fact that he was reporting on a shooting. You know, if it was just some like editorial piece about like this cafe's got a brand new selection of muffins, then that would be funny. But the fact that I undercut the tension of like this person is currently in the hospital after being shot. God damn it! If all the news reports I could have chosen to do this on.
Oh my God. And that's Fox 13. That's Memphis.
Oh really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can't remember what channel Fox is around here. I think is it 10? It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
I'm gonna have to call it a day after this video, by the way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah, it is good. Yeah, for you, it most certainly is. I mean, I'm not overly eager to. I mean, these are like somewhat humorous, but and I really need to empty my bladder, so we can wrap up if it's all the same.
Yeah, that's fine by me. I love that. Before I go, I love that we've been doing this for however long now. We haven't had one problem with copyright. The first time we go on BBC content, they're like, "You're watching our content."
Right.
Well, the reason that we haven't had a problem with content is we've been really trying to stick to stuff that's like YouTube original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Goddamn dirty, filthy, rotten capitalist cockmongers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like I said, the BBC are notoriously stringent with that sort of thing.
Oh, god damn it! We didn't even get to this other thing. Okay. Remind me next time, Mason. I want to show you this thing because we haven't done Bars Police in a while. I want to show you this compilation of this dude. He creates characters and then raps from their perspective. It's fucking.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So Wednesday.
Yep.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's been lovely to see all of you.
Yes.
It has. All right, everyone. I'm gonna go ahead and end the broadcast, and we'll tell Mason to shove off behind closed doors.
Right.
Welcome to Adventure. Fuck the BBC for that fucking copyright scare. And
fuck the BBC.
Fuck the BBC. Welcome to the Adventure. Thanks for being here. Yada yada yada. Bye.